The, uh, the last time I was in a museum, an art museum, I didn't understand all the rooms. Some of the paintings I loved. Some of the paintings were a little bit too more abstract for me, but I could appreciate the frames. And sometimes I go into an art museum and I say, I don't know about that art, but I love that frame. That frame is worth the gold that it's in. And sometimes I think of that analogy when I think of our church experience on the weekends. Our weekend experience is the heart of it, is this canvas that takes place right here, and the fine art of Jesus' love for us through the cross and through the altar and through the Holy Eucharist, and what happens here. And that's a beautiful, beautiful gift, and I wouldn't live without it. Sometimes people will come in, especially maybe in a Christmas or Easter or something, or just visiting, and they don't always understand fully or appreciate the fine art that takes place, but they can appreciate the frame. You guys are the frame. You're the gold that surrounds what happens here. Because you guys are the first impression that people have of this parish and this experience of the weekend. Every weekend we have visitors. Every weekend we are living out the mandate of our Archbishop and our Holy Fathers to welcome and to evangelize this culture by sharing the love of God with those who enter into these doors. Once we become part of this community, we no longer start to only receive that love, but we start to give that love. That love becomes a kind of a current that we receive and give. And you guys are part of that beautiful mystery, that beautiful physics of love, of spiritual love. As you give, you receive even more. And as you continue to give, you model that gift of love for others. So as whether you are ushers, keeping an eye out for those latecomers who are carrying their babies and walking in with a family full of kids, during the Gloria or whatever it is, making sure that they feel welcome and loved. Whether you're a greeter who are maybe standing at the other door, just watching out for people who are coming in with a beautiful greeting. As an usher, finding a place for them so they don't have to kind of look back and wonder, well, how am I going to find a spot in here? Because you're aware of the needs of the people and what we have here as a facility. All the little tasks and the attention that you give is really a heart that belongs to the heart of Christ, to win over the world for his love, so that we can live in this beautiful canvas, this beautiful piece of art, which is the Lord's love for us, and so that we can share that beautiful gift with others. Sometimes at first they may not always, when I was a kid, I didn't always appreciate, how come I gotta go to church again? How come this? How come that? Sometimes grown-ups have that way too. But we give the love of God a human face. We give the love of Jesus Christ a human heart by being the first impressions that people will find of our parish and community members as well. We're changing the culture of the Catholic Church is what we're doing. We're changing the culture of the Catholic Church so that it's someday in the future they will no longer be able to say, well, those Catholics are great for prayer, but they ignore people. You can't ignore God you can't love God and ignore people at the same time. So we're changing the culture of the Catholic experience one weekend at a time. And I'm so proud of you for being part of that great mission. And that's a beautiful, beautiful gift to be able to say, you know what, it's not only what happens here at the steps and at the altar, but it's also what happens at the doorway and in the parking lot and in the foyer and at the Welcome Center. The love of Jesus Christ is present here, And we prove that to people by showing that the love of Jesus Christ is present in our church ministers as well. So I want to thank you. Thank you for being part of that great vision.